Hi everyone, welcome to the Midweek. I'm joined by Beck, our kids minister today. Beck, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, just to give the audience some context.
Sure. So I'm Beck, I am 26 years old and married to Mike. We have a little boy called Lucas and one on the way due in March.
Exciting.
So I'm the kids minister. I've been here in a kids ministry capacity for about 5 years. Before that I was volunteering. And love it at Lifestreams.
Yeah, so Beck, you've been involved with kids ministry for a number of years now. Why do you do what you do?
So I have a pretty firm belief that the developmental years from 0 to 12 years old is just such an integral time for kids and for faith development. That's where they get most of their personality and their character, and they decide a lot of the core decisions. So I think it's an integral time for kids to learn who Jesus is, to love Jesus, and then they have this incredible opportunity before they're adults to impact the rest of their world as well. So,
How awesome is it when you're able to live as an apprentice, as a disciple of Jesus for your whole life? Not come into it at 20 years old, 30 years old, 50 years old, but actually just follow Jesus for your whole life. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's my aim.
Yeah, it's good.
Yep.
So Beck, this has been a crazy year for many people.
Yeah.
We're coming into a crazy season. It's Christmas, just around the corner.
Yeah.
What's God been saying to you? What's on your mind? What have you been wrestling with, or anything you want to share with us?
So at the moment in kids ministry, we've been wrapping presents and writing cards and letters and finishing off the year well and loving people well. And it made me reflect on the rest of this year, which has been a pretty crazy year with when we were in our houses for a while and we were kind of forced apart. It made me really think about how we connect with and the important things about growing in relationship with people and loving people, especially when you're in a bit of a distance. So for my heart for this year is that Christmas is just such a good opportunity that we have where people are feeling a bit more festive and a bit more open to have those intentional relationships. And through COVID, when we had to think about what we are doing and what we're going to focus on, the answer was focus on people. And so I think again with Christmas, the answer is to focus on people and to focus on what we can do to love people well and to share Jesus with people. And so I thought about, for myself, for relationships that I have in my life, I find it pretty easy to love my family. I'm pretty, I have some good staff relationships and work and church relationships, and for me it's loving people that don't yet come to church, or having a bit more of an intentional focus on people that have questions about who Jesus is. And Christmas is a time where a lot of people think about who Jesus is and explore that. So
we're singing Christmas carols which have which talk about Jesus, which sing of him being the Saviour of the world, and we just know the words and we sing the songs, but actually learning the meaning behind that would be really cool.
And thinking about connecting with one another on a different level and using our gifts and abilities to do something that has meaning. And me being a creative person, I think Christmas is a great time to be creative and to use creativity to have relationships with people and just be creative together.
So any ideas what that might look like?
So my challenge at the moment, and what I've been thinking of for months and months, is actually to start a small group where I get like-minded people together and we hang out and we work on our creative projects and we connect over being creative together and learn together about creativity and about Jesus, and that's my plan.
That sounds really great. But I guess as I'm hearing you talk, there's something you sacrifice by being intentional.
Yeah.
That you're like, for me, I'm like, it's Christmas. I've got these things that have to happen before December 25th, or these things that have to happen before the end of the youth term, or whatever it is. I just get in go mode.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel the same way. So I was reflecting on Jesus, and everywhere he walks around in the countryside in Israel there, he's constantly being interrupted, but he's never in a rush, and he's never, he's always got time for people.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've been challenged by. And I think I'm hearing that with you as well. It's just being intentional around people, not necessarily about the task list or about the programs or about what's going on, but really meeting people.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
Yeah, just reflecting out of the coronavirus season. I think a lot of people are craving that.
Yeah, meeting people where they're at, and realizing that without relationship we don't have much, and with relationship, that's where everything, for me, I believe everything comes out of that. So being intentional with good, healthy relationships is really important. Yeah.
Definitely. And can you give us an example of what a healthy relationship looks like? Because we've got heaps of relationships, but when you say healthy, I think there's a lot of, not baggage, but there's different people could be thinking about different things.
Yeah, cool.
So what do you see as healthy?
When I think about healthy relationships, I think about there's people. Healthy relationships look a bit different in different situations. So there's no like black and white, this is healthy, this is not healthy. I think there's life-giving relationships that feed into you and that grow good things, and relationships that drain you, or relationships that take. And when you leave that coffee or you leave that chat and you go, I just need rest, or I need I need to be filled.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah. So healthy relationships, life-giving relationships, relationships where people are pouring out and loving and you feel like you're being filled. And it's even more of a bonus if it's a relationship where you get to unpack who Jesus is and grow in Jesus with that person. Yeah.
So it's a two-way street. So we've got some relationships where we may be more the givers, but we also need those relationships where we're encouraged and supported, and we feel that community as well.
100%. And at Christmas time, we focus on both, because it's important to love all people, obviously. But to notice when you're being when you're pouring out and needing to be filled. It's a bit, give and take, 50-50. Yeah.
And for those relationships which are a little bit tougher, like where you feel like you're just giving and giving, how do you cope with that?
So I have, everyone has relationships where they give, and I now can recognise that I've just given and I need to have a bit of a rest or a little bit of a break, or that might mean I sit in the car while Lucas naps and I just go through my devotional and I read, or I just soak in some music or some worship.
So would I be right in saying you're a bit of an introvert then?
Yep. Definitely.
So you're recharging looks like being by yourself, spending time with the devotional and the Bible. Yeah. And
that or my close family is another one that's something that fills me up. Yeah.
I mean, self-care is a word that gets thrown around a lot these days.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty important in busy seasons to make sure that we are recognizing where our energy is going and what we're giving out, what we're getting back.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I also also feel like I need to be able to go and go and go.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Do you feel that pressure?
I think the more I think about like go, go, go is I think about like rhythms of life. And sometimes you have seasons where you go, you go, you go. But that's often followed by a slow down. Yeah, so it's, I don't like to say balance because I don't think it is balance, but it's a knowing that there's a give and a take, both of them filling and a pouring out. Yeah. What do you do?
Just throwing it right back at me.
Yeah.
I take it to Jesus. That's like the verse in Matthew where Jesus says, "Come to me, all who are weary. Come to me, you know, my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And I sometimes, I know that if life is really, really tough and I'm trying to shoulder that burden, it's going to overwhelm me. It's going to cause me to stress and to fear and to doubt. And so it's tough. It's something I want to do, and intellectually I think I should do, but it's really tough for me just to say, God, I'm laying this at your feet. I'm surrendering it, and asking Him to give me wisdom with how to proceed, because I'm usually in a hurry or just in that frazzled state of mind because I've said yes to too much.
And if you get there, then it's not full of Jesus so much as it's full of us.
Exactly. And so I'm striving to do things for Jesus. That's one of the things that I've got to catch myself. Am I doing this for Jesus? Am I doing it because I think I should do it for Jesus, or am I following Jesus and what He's asking me to do? And I think those are different questions.
And they come, I think they flow out of us in different ways. And we can be in a go, go, go season, but it can be light and it can be life-giving.
Jesus was very busy in His 3 years of ministry.
100%.
But He brought life and love. He brought hope everywhere He went. And He took time out to retreat and spend time with the Father. I think that's a great model for us to follow. Also, just love the way He was intentional with His relationships. He sought people out.
He had His head up and He looked out for the opportunity. It's good.
Exactly. When the interruptions came, as I mentioned before, He didn't just fob them off. He sat with the person. I think of the woman who had the issue of bleeding for many, many years. And He's on His way, He's on a mission somewhere, she touches His cloak and He just stops. And then he ministers to her, rather than just saying, "You're healed." He takes the time to minister to her, even though He's in a rush. So those moments where our interruptions or things that we think could be a distraction are actually God moments that we can take hold of and shine His light and bring His hope to things.
It's good. That's really cool.
Thanks for sharing this morning, Beck.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us online. We'll catch you next time.